So let me look at Uttar Pradesh. On the of the 80 seats of Uttar Pradesh, tomorrow polling will be held in 10 seats. This is Agra, Badaयूं, Bareilly, Etah, Fatehpur Sikri, Firozabad, Hathras, Mainpuri, Sambhal. Mainpuri of them is most important because that's really the Yadav bastion, and that's where there's a lot of pride up at stake. Pradeep Gupta, your sense of how the Samajwadi Party Congress alliance in Uttar Pradesh is holding up? Do you think the gap is just too much between the BJP and the India alliance, or do you, like Rashid Kidwai, think that there could be a fight on our hands in Uttar Pradesh and the BJP will struggle to meet its tally from the last time?
And that too, Rahul, you're right, that gap is too wide, and particularly after RLD in this particular region, the western UP and this part of the Uttar Pradesh, the Jat votes are, in good sizable numbers. So this time, comparing to 2019 when Sapa, Basapa and RLD Gathbandhan was there, this time Congress and Samajwadi looks more on a weaker turf than the 2019. That much I can say at this point of time. Okay,
let's now come to Karnataka, because in the northern part of Karnataka, Bagalkot, Belgaum, Bellary, Bidar, Bijapur, Devangari, Dharwad, Gulbarga, Haveri, Raichur, Shimoga, Uttar Kannada, 14 seats, all of them with the NDA. Now the question really, R.K. Upadhyay, is do you think that this whole Prajwal Revanna sex scandal, all these videos that have surfaced, the charges that have been leveled, do they at any level change the picture in Karnataka? Because if I look at the breakup of vote share, the BJP last time had 56% of the vote share on these 14 seats. The Congress had only 33. So when the gap is more than 20% in terms of votes, how much of a difference do you think the sex scandal and the fact that the Karnataka government is run by the Congress, how much of a factor is this, and how tight does the battle become because of this, given that BJP starts with a 22% vote share lead?
North Karnataka, which is hot and sizzling, but my hometown, Bangalore, is no less hot because it has touched 41 degrees, unprecedented in its history. Anyway, just to tell you the background to this, BJP has all the 14 seats which they won, which they are defending, and they won 10 out of 14 by more than 1 lakh votes, and the highest margin of victory being 4.75 lakhs in Uttar Kannada. But then, since then, the situation has drastically changed, and one can see on the ground that, there are lots of issues that the BJP is facing. As you mentioned about the Prajwal Revanna issue, well, I tried to do a bit of probing, find out what exactly people are feeling about this. And I feel that, Prajwal Revanna issue doesn't resonate so much in North Karnataka as in South Karnataka. See, North Karnataka and South Karnataka have always seen issues differently. When there was a Kaveri River issue, when the whole of Bangalore and the surrounding areas were burning, North Karnataka, didn't really bother. But then when there was a Mahadai issue in North Karnataka, the South Karnataka didn't bother. So, there is certain kind of a division as far as the emotional issues are concerned. And I feel that, this Prajwal Revanna issue may not be such a big one. But then one can never say, because the last 5 days, the 24/7, 24 hour, the local channels have been giving only Revanna issue. So this could have some kind of
come in on this. R.K. Upadhyay says, especially because it's North Karnataka, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Had this been in Southern Karnataka, it could have become a big issue. It could have helped you if women were really angry. It could have also conversely polarized the Vocaliga vote in favor of the JDS if it evoked sympathy for Devagowda and his grandson. But he says in North Karnataka, also given the fact that there's a 22% gap between the BJP and the Congress on these 14 seats, it doesn't materially make much of a difference. How do you look at this?
Good evening, Rahul. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay. So, Rahul, first of all, I think it's an absolutely wrong and false equivalence to equate irrigation issues of Kaveri and Mahadai with, this is not even a sex scandal. This is basically a sexual predator of the worst sort. And I believe it will not only have an impact in Karnataka, but also across the country, that you saw that a sitting member of parliament was capable of such monstrosity and depravity. One. Second, I'm not going to go into what the electoral benefits of it are going to be, but on the purely simple angle of what has happened in North Karnataka today. In 2019, the situation was different. The JDS Congress alliance was not something that worked for us anywhere across the country. This time, not only with having a sitting government, our guarantees have worked phenomenally on the ground. Women across the board are extremely positive. I'll tell you what the indication of this is. The BJP is running scared because they're not talking about development. They're no longer talking about Modi's guarantees in Karnataka. They are talking of divisive communal agenda where they're no longer even dog whistling. They're openly, blatantly creating enmity amongst communities. But the response on the ground has been phenomenal. There are tight fights absolutely everywhere. The JDS has 5 MLAs, all of whom have distanced themselves from their party and their leadership in light of the Prajwal Revana issue. And I think out of these 14, we're well placed to win at least 10 seats. And I can say this convincingly, Rahul.
Let Shazia Ilmi come in on this. Women are irked by the fact that you've got this grandson of a former prime minister misusing his position, his pelf, his privilege, to perpetrate these kind of atrocities. And B, the Karnataka government is run by the Congress at the moment, and therefore it automatically makes a state like Karnataka, where you'd maxed out in this region last time round, a closer fight than in the last elections. Shazia Ilmi.
So first of all, I'd like to say that we stand very well poised. We've won 71 out of 93 seats, if you look at the same seats in 2019. And as far as Karnataka is concerned, I think, overall I agree with what my friend from Congress just mentioned. I mean, he's got to be a sexual predator of the worst kind. I mean, it's nauseatingly, disgusting as to what all he's done. Is unbearable to even see those reports. But I think overall, when it comes to women votes and when it comes to Lok Sabha elections and choice of a prime minister, I think there is not much thinking that's required here or guessing that is required here. It is very much for our Prime Minister Modi ji. The credibility is huge. The popularity is huge. And I think because of his basic integrity and his genuine outreach that he has with the women voters, there is no chance that women will not vote for a prime minister like Modi. In fact, there are places even now where the polling has happened, women have voted much more than men in many constituencies. And I have seen, I was in Andhra Pradesh, I was in Telangana, earlier I was in Karnataka too. I mean, when it comes to Prime Minister and Modi ji's name, there is, sometimes I've seen tears in the eyes of women. They are such deep believers of what Modi ji can do and how genuinely invested he is in the health and well-being of
Let me put that question to Pradeep Gupta. Pradeep Gupta, do you think an issue like Prajwal Revana can sway voters in northern Karnataka, or is it too far away from the south, too far away from the Vokaliga bastion to really make a material difference in North Karnataka?
Yes, absolutely, Rahul. You made the point that it is too far from Vokaliga and that to southern Karnataka to northern Karnataka. Just to fare with, I just want to make a quick not correction, but the interest of, you said the difference between in 19 election 22%, actually it should be seen because JDS has fought the election in alliance with Congress, so it should be seen 41 by 55. So gap should be around 14%. It should be seen like that.
Okay, but this time because the JDS and the Congress are together, and naturally because we need to keep the base file the same to be able to calculate the swing on counting day, but that is just too technical and I don't want to bore you with that, but that's really the starting point. And naturally Pradeep is right that it doesn't mean that 1 plus 1 equal to 2. It could sometimes equal 3, it could sometimes equal 1.5. That's just the way politics is. So that is absolutely correct when there's an alliance. Now let's come to Uttar Pradesh, because this is again a very crucial area where we'll see polling tomorrow. And we've got 10 seats up for grabs, 8 of those with the NDA. Apart from Uttar Pradesh, there is polling in Gujarat where there are 26 seats, out of which Surat, the BJP is already won uncontested. And in Gujarat, the vote share gap again is huge, 63% versus 33%. That's how big the gap is, 30% gap. This really is, there is Himachal Pradesh, there is Uttarakhand, but really when it comes to big states, the kind of gap that the BJP has, Pradeep Gupta, in Gujarat is quite enviable from a political perspective, a 30% gap at the starting point. In Rajasthan, they had some turbulence on a few seats, 5 to 8 seats, far more closely contested this time than in the last election. Are you seeing some turbulence in Gujarat as well, or do you think there's just very little air turbulence will make no difference to the journey of the BJP in Gujarat?
Yeah, when there is Modi and Shah at the top, I think we should not be discussing, particularly from a Lok Sabha contest point of view, the Gujarat. We should keep the Gujarat separately, and I mean there is no point discussing Gujarat. It is as simple as that.
You're saying no point discussing Gujarat, it's as simple as that. But, let's also for a moment take a look at some of the other states where elections will be held, because there is Chhattisgarh, where in the northern part of Chhattisgarh, Bastar has already had polls. In the 7 seats of North Chhattisgarh, Bilaspur, Durg, Korba, Raigad, Raipur, Sarguja, we'll see polling. And are you seeing, Pradeep Gupta, the Congress being able to put up some kind of a fight, or do you think really in states like Chhattisgarh, it's going to largely be very strongly BJP territory with just very little difference in vote share, if at all, but not much of a difference in seat share?
In fact, the traditionally stronghold of Congress, which is the Sarguja because of Singh Dev, and in fact in recently concluded assembly election, out of 10 seats of Sarguja district, BJP won 9 seats, and Singh Dev also lost his own seat. So this is the kind of scenario at this point of time. And last time Congress could win the seat of Korba, the Mahant, he has won the seat, his wife has won the seat. And this time they lost assembly election there too very badly. And all other seats are the likes of Bilaspur, Raipur, which is traditionally a stronghold of BJP. So I don't see much of thing in this particular thing. Yes, Rajnandgaon was a good contest seat, and Bastar was good, and Kanker, which has already, happened in phase 1 and 2 respectively.